Hey everyone, Soulbound Water back here after finishing my first 5 maps of what is quite possibly my favorite Atlas strategy in the league, if not to date. I'm having a ton of fun with this one, and first of all I want to give a shout out to Path of Chigurh, who has been uploading videos showcasing this strategy, as well as I think Fubgum has a video on it, and I'll link both of those below. Path of Chigurh was running this in standard, and he had a really great discharge character that he was just blasting the maps with. And I was looking at it, I was like, well, maybe there's a possibility I could do this on the Inquisitor. And even though I only have like 50 to 60 divines invested in it and no Mage Blood or Headhunter, I figured I'd give it a shot and see how it goes, and it goes really, really well. I'm going to go over all of the profitability of this strategy at the end of it, but in the beginning here, I'm just going to kind of go over what the strategy is and then showcase it, and then yeah, we'll talk about all the drops I got and how much I earned from that at the end. So what we're going to be doing is juicing T17 maps, and the atlas looks like this, and what we're going to be doing is utilizing back to basics. Now back to basics basically removes all League content from the map, right? So you're not going to get legions or delirium or anything like that, but instead juices up the explicit modifier effects, which on T17 maps is crazy. Once you get into this, and maybe once you see the footage, you'll understand just how insanely difficult this strategy is. But you can definitely pull it off if you have a decently built character. Obviously, better built characters are going to perform better and going to be able to handle more mods on the map and more juice. So we're basically going to be farming and targeting Scarabs again. This is the league for Scarabs, but some of the cool things is that there's going to be so much quant and rarity on the map that you're actually going to be dropping lots of horned Scarabs, some of the bigger, better Scarabs, and just a lot of Scarabs in general. So this is what the tree looks like. One thing to keep in mind is you're going to want to proactively look to take these nodes to drop whatever Scarabs are going for the most right now, and I actually should spec into this ambush one because the ambush scarabs are crazy. As far as the scarabs we're going to be running one of each scarab of adversities to add more rare monsters to the pack, as well as home scarab of nemesis to add rare monsters in area has 2 additional modifiers. And then lastly, we're going to be using the Omega Juice, the Horn Scarab of Glittering, and this is so cool. I love this Scarab. This is so much fun, and I think there's going to be so much that you can utilize with this. These are the most expensive part of running this map besides the map itself. But if you read it, it says players in area gain increased item rarity and item quantity for each monster slain recently up to 200% and 100% respectively. So that allows us to take our not MFing build and MF with it, which is just super fun. But it is based off recently, so you need to be moving through these maps fairly quickly. And that can be difficult when the maps are crazy, right? Since the explicit modifiers are going to be nuts, things like 50% less area of effect turns into 130% less area effect, which means I can't run it at all on Detonate Dead because I'm not doing any area of effect damage. So you're going to need to play around with this strategy, and you're really going to have to find out what your build can run and what bricks your map. And you will brick some maps. There's just going to be some rares in these maps that are like uber bosses and are going to delete you from like 2 screens away. And you might not always be able to kill the map boss as well. But again, if you have a much thicker, much better character than mine, if you build a character developed strictly for this strategy, you're going to have even better results than I will. First of all, what do we want on the map? Ideally, we want to get percent increased rare monsters. That's a huge one. Also, we're looking for rare monsters release a tormented spirit whenever they're low. This is kind of a double-edged sword. We do want to be going quickly because of the Scarab of Glittering, but the releasing tormented spirits whenever they're low will give a ton more item quantity and rarity to the rares that are already there, and again, just kind of juicing it up for massive explosions. You have to take everything with what you can get. Even on some of the worst rolled maps that I've done this with, some of the ones that I just threw in that I knew I could do, I still generated a ton of profit. And the more you can juice this up, the better the rolls you can get, the more mods you can deal with, the better and better results you're going to get. So I have some pre-recorded footage of one of my maps that I'm going to roll now, and then we'll go over all the profitability, all the drops that I got afterwards. Alright everyone, back here with some breakdowns. I know we PoE players love a good spreadsheet, but I couldn't be asked, so I just made this online notepad instead. Starting with the Scarabs, we have the Glittering Scarab at 20 Chaos. I think this is probably closer to 25 or 30, and they may go up from here, as this is going to be generally used in a lot of different strategies, I feel. The Nemesis Scarabs are about 5C apiece, and the Adversary Scarabs are 6C, 2 for 6, basically, so 3C apiece. So we spend 31 Chaos in Scarabs, 35 Chaos for the map, using about 10 Chaos to roll the map to get it to a place where you can run it. That means we're about 76 Chaos per map, or 380 Chaos total. For 5 maps, that's 2.5 divines. And not to give anything away, but we made 17 divines, and the total profit was 14.5 divines in 5 maps. So what did the drops look like? I'm going to use the Wealthy Exile here to import my tab and go over all of the drops, but this is what we're looking at. We made most of our money from Scarabs at 6.8 divines. The other 5.8 divines is here in currency. We did drop 2 divines, so that could be something that I was either lucky or unlucky on. There's a ton of rarity and a ton of quality and currency going out, so getting more or less is definitely possible. We definitely high rolled on the fragments that we got. These I think are the most expensive ones that the map I was running would lean to. Then we also made 2.6 divines in coffins, and coffins can be a pain to sell. One of the things I would suggest is just putting them all into a quad tab, and once you have an entire full quad tab, trying to sell them here on the Wealthy Exile. Typically if you have 10 plus of a certain type, you'll be able to sell them in bulk a lot easier. But yeah, other than that, we made 139 chaos in maps. Through this, you're going to drop a ton of maps, so just pick whatever maps you like to run or whatever maps you think will sell and add them to your favorite list and drop them. You know, in bulk quantities, you can obviously make a lot of money selling your maps too. Otherwise, we made a little bit of money off of divination cards. We did drop 1 enlightened, and the void is actually really nice to pick up. So this is listing them at 4C a piece, but realistically, people are buying these as much as 7 or 8 chaos in bulk. So that's something to consider there as well. But overall, 17 divines we made in about, well, for me it was about an hour, but I didn't play consistently the whole way through. I think most people are probably going to be able to do this strategy in about 6 minutes per map, maybe 7 minutes. I was probably closer to 8 to 10, which even still puts us at over 20 divines an hour. And your variance on map time will change a lot based on whether you pick up an ID fractured items, if you look at the unique bases, you know, like leather belts and heavy belts. And that will change a lot about how much time you generally spend in the map and how many maps you can run per hour. So what are my thoughts? What are my opinions? How do I feel about it? I kind of mentioned at the beginning that I love this strategy. It really feels fun because one, you're chasing consistent drops through the form of scarabs, but we're also chasing some crazy unique drops. I did drop a Calandra's Touch and sold that for 11.5 divine, so I was able to see 1 T1 unique already, and I've seen tons of T2 uniques, but it always just makes you feel like, you know, there's a mage blood hiding in this next rare, or, you know, a squire or something really fun like that to get as a drop. The biggest con to this is obviously going to be how difficult it is, right? Not every build is going to be able to do this. Not even most builds are really going to be able to handle this without some kind of substantial investment into the character. But overall, it's been a blast to play. This is definitely going to be something I'm going to continue to run as long as the margins are great, which I don't see how they couldn't be, seeing as you're just pulling so much raw currency and scarabs out of these maps. So, alright everyone, so that just about wraps it all up. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this kind of content, and drop any questions that you might have down below, and I'll do my best to answer them for you. Since recording everything prior, I have since run, you know, another 5 maps of this, and still generating a ton of profit, still a ton of fun, and it's just really great to get in there and chase after those T1 uniques. I do have another project that I'm still working on. It's going to be an occultist. It's going to be utilizing the new tornado transgem, but I'm still kind of polishing it up and figuring out exactly what I think that build will excel at. So stay tuned. I should have some other things in the works for you guys. Thank you.